folks, and welcome to another episode of Soaring Prophets. I'm Patrick, as always, that little special guy down there in the corner. James, my co-host and buddy, little buddy. Today we are super excited to have the Maddie and Kiki. Now these two lovely ladies are just a little ways down the road from us. Usually we've got some international people. You know, we were in Dubai a couple weeks ago with guests. We've been in Brazil. We've been in Africa and in the Sudanese desert. And today we're just about an hour down the road in Oshawa, Ontario, I believe. So very close to home for us.
In fact, one sec, I'll go get.
Yeah, she's going to go get into Maddie's camera. Yeah. These two ladies are doing something very unique, and it comes from this place that I love with the female entrepreneurship. And we just had Richard Parker on with Financial Fitness just before this, and he was talking about my daughter and what she can do to jump into that space, that female entrepreneurship thing. And Kiki and Maddie are great examples of this. They worked in everyone else's dreams. They were employment coaches. They were talking with people about what their skill sets were, what their passions were, what they wanted to do for their employment. And they looked around and said, hey, maybe we aren't living our own. And they decided to do a barbecue show. They jumped into this male-dominated field that is now not so male-dominated and are now one of the top 10 grill masters seen on Forbes, Zoomer magazine. They've kind of touched it all. And they come from one of our very close friends, Montana, with the market in S'more down in Cobourg, Ontario. So they come highly touted. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure when we get to have such great people and so local. We didn't have to go too far to find you guys. So thank you so much for joining us.
Can I say solid intro? Solid intro. That was fantastic.
Well, and I take great pride in that from some TV people like yourself. You both started on our local cable TVs in the Durham region. Maybe you guys can talk a little bit about how that got started from the humble beginnings of a job coach, employment counselors, to where you guys are now doing some amazing stuff on social media.
Well, it was humble beginnings, and I can tell you that it never gets old hearing someone refer to us as female entrepreneurs, because if you told us back when we were at our local cable station that eventually we would be actual entrepreneurs, I wouldn't have believed it. Because first of all, that was a long time ago. And second of all, it's been a lot of work leading up to this moment.
Yeah, I think a lot of people thought like when we were employment coaches, that was our full-time gig. We wanted to get out of it. We were absolutely hating our jobs, and everybody in our life was like, you guys got to get out of this. Like, you only have one life to live. And then we were like, I think I did. I'm going to take credit. It was my idea to pitch the show to Rogers.
That's what I do. I take credit for everything.
Are you guys family? You must be family.
Yeah. Now, the great thing about it is because I'm the guy who does everything, I can just mute him and then take credit. Soaring Prophets was completely my idea, and I do everything.
That's awesome.
Well, and I'm a younger sister, so it happens often. But I think it was my idea. So we pitched the show to Rogers TV, and then we were like, I don't know if this is actually going to happen. But then our show got picked up, and at the beginning, it's all volunteer. So a lot of people don't realize that they think it's all like glamorous and you have your own TV show, but we funded everything. So we were working our jobs during the day, and then in the evening we would go shoot our TV show. And then we started getting other gigs that at the beginning were not paid. And we did a lot of unpaid stuff for years before finally we were able to make the transition to doing this full time. And then at the beginning, it was like the pay wasn't good. And then so we still had to work. And then over time, it started to build. And then thankfully, we've been doing this full time for 5 years now, which I still can't even believe that to say.
Yeah. Why barbecues?
That's a really good question. Well, we love to cook everything. And we always think that and try and tell people that use your grill literally to cook everything. A lot of people think like all you're going to do on there is like your meats, your steaks, your chickens, your burgers, those types of things. But because we love to make all kinds of food, we love to show people how you can use like your grill for everything. So to us, that's why we started going into barbecue, and cooking outside is just way more fun.
I love that. Like, I think it's amazing. Not only have you started like this business, like we get it. Us at Soaring Prophets right here, we're just starting to kind of be profitable. We're traveling on our own dime. We're like buying our own microphones and stuff. Rode microphone. If you're out there, I'd be happy to be sponsored by you. I'm just saying, give me a call. I don't mind. But you guys have turned this into a business where you travel all across Canada, and possibly, I'm not sure if you travel into the States. Could you tell about some of the memorable experiences you've had since this 5-year journey began? Where you're traveling across the States, Canada, and doing these shows and everything you're doing?
Well, our most recent traveling experience that we just did, we went down to Connecticut at they were telling us it's actually the second largest casino in all of the states. It's called Mohegan Sun.
Right.
And we were part of their food and wine festival. It was their 20-year anniversary, and we had never done that event before. And they asked us if we would be part of it, and we had to do 2,000 samples for everybody who was at this event, and it was so cool. It was such an awesome event. It wasn't specifically barbecue, but it happened in January, and I still can't believe that we handled it. It was such a cool experience.
That's wild. So how do you end up going from the reason why I'm asking? I'm going to preface this question a little bit. So James and I just got back from Orlando. We were down at PodFest, and this is a podcast. You've heard of this.
No, I haven't heard of it, but it sounds awesome.
Yeah, see how excited we are? We're just great Canadians, right?
It was amazing. We even met Miss American. I'm just saying.
Cool.
It happened.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So we go down to PodFest, and the number one thing all of these content creators down there are looking to do is monetize. They're all trying to figure out how they take this little niche opportunity, this little corner of the world, and make money doing it. And, we've done some things, some projects that we've worked on, and they're, again, starting to become profitable. It's a crazy battlefield out there in so many sense. When you started with Rogers, and that started garnering some traction, how do you pivot to Mohegan Sun and now having thousands of people coming by, tasting your food, touching, your brand, and seeing your beautiful faces? That's a big step. What of those steps over that 5-year journey are the most important that you would advise?
That is a fantastic question. I have to say that's a very, very great question. And
he already has a swelled head. Please stop.
No, but that's a very great question, and that is a question that we often get asked because it is confusing, and there are so many people now that do want to do the whole content creation thing and monetize it and figure out how to turn their dreams into their jobs. So for us, it was like, at the beginning, we had no clue how we were going to monetize it. And we talk about this often, is like, how did we get to where we are now? And the biggest advice we can give is that you just have to take a series of very small steps. Even if you don't think those steps are moving you forward, every step does, even if you don't realize it is. And even in the beginning, if it is volunteering. So I think a lot of people think like they can go right from like creating content to making money, but it doesn't work that way at all.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You also have to, Key, that's such a good point about like the series of small steps. But you also, when we started doing this and when we actually started to get into, you're right, because everyone wants to monetize, we were like, okay, but how do you actually do this?
Right.
And so when we started, that was we're in our 6th year right now. And the whole content creation thing wasn't what it is now. So now everyone thinks that they want to be a content creator. Everyone thinks that they're making content and doing all this stuff. We didn't even really know what that meant. We didn't know what influencers were. We didn't know anything like that. But we had the idea that we were like, we're grillers. We love grilling. We're passionate about grilling. We use this particular barbecue. Let's start tagging this particular barbecue brand and see if they see us. Like let's just try and do this. So we started to do that, and because especially at that time we were women in barbecue. It was still few and far between. It was pretty rare. It actually did capture the brand's attention. This is a massive, massive brand. They didn't know what content creators were. They didn't know what influencers were. We all didn't know what this was. And so we were all starting to learn together, and they were seeing the value in what we were doing. And we they like the fact that they saw the work that we were doing and seeing that as valuable. I can't tell you how incredible that felt at the time. And then it just like snowballed from there, slowly, very, very slowly. And then that's what kicked it off. And even though that was a massive barbecue brand, you don't have to just go right to like the top brands. You can just start by tagging a brand and seeing if they notice you.
Yeah.
Well, and at the beginning,
sorry.
no, I was just going to say at the beginning, we also took a lot of paid gigs that we hated. Like we did not want to do. And it took like doing those gigs to learn, like, we don't want to cater. I don't want to make food for people at a festival.
Right.
So we were like, we don't want to do that. So what do we want to do?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's so true. We've been on that journey ourselves. Like we've done, and if you go back in our past, we did a lot of things that we, let's try this out, let's try that out, and it didn't hit or it didn't work out.
All with our clothes
on. But we're tossing around the idea of maybe OnlyFans, so keep your eyes open.
Feet finder.
This guy.
Like, I'm just saying.
Yeah, there's a foot thing that has something to do with whipped cream and feet. I don't know. We're looking into it. You guys keep up on it. And Road, I'm just saying.
That for later.
That's it.
I'm just saying, Road, right here. It's a brand. No, you bring up a lot of interesting points. And one of them that I'm really interested in is we've been in that spot where we've tried a bunch of things. We get a big amount of traction. And then it stops and it stalls. And then we just like look at each other and go, okay, well, what do we need to do now? Like it's almost defeatist because you have that huge high and then this deep low. And then you don't know what to do next because you can't recreate what you just did because that isn't recreatable sometimes. So can you guys talk about a moment way back when maybe you were just starting out that you hit that wall that you were able to overcome? Now, I think Pat and I have a really great drive. When I'm down, he lifts me up. When he's down, I lift him up. For a while, I carried us both because I started this and I was amazing. And, this was all my brainchild. And I carried him on my back. And good, he's muted. Carried him. No, I'm kidding. No, but could you guys please tell us maybe one of those moments that you really felt like I can't do this anymore and what you did?
Well, to be honest, James, that moment happens, I'm going to say, at least 6 times a week to this day. Okay? And so that's just the part of being an entrepreneur. It's not like you just hit one wall and you get past it and you're like, I'm good to go for the rest of all these years. It happens all the time. And it usually happens right after like a really high time. It's like something wonderful happens, and then because you want that feeling, it slowly starts to go back down again, and then you're like, hey, but how do I just do what I just did again? And the fact that you just said that you guys are very lucky, like we are very lucky, you guys are a duo. So you have both of each other. When someone's down, I don't know what that is. If someone's down, the other one isn't. So that one can pull that one up. And vice versa. Key and I do that all the time, and we always say, I don't get how the solo creators do it.
No, it's such a huge point, and it goes exactly to what you're saying there, is that, again, coming back from our most recent event, we've got emails in our list of people. We met literally thousands of people. Like, there's an app that is directed right around this event. I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of messages from people reaching out. It was great to meet you. Saw you here. Didn't get a chance to see you because we were going down there and we were filming actually in kind of collaboration with Healthcare Amplified, which is an organization that started up to help healthcare providers, doctors, physicians, clinics, that sort of thing, get into the podcasting or the content creation space. So shout out Healthcare Amplified. So we went down there and we had an opportunity to do all of these amazing interviews with these top tier professionals. We had individuals that were big. We had one woman that flew in from Africa, flying over to work with the Leukemia Association out of the United States. And she was head of their marketing department. It was an amazing event. Then when you come home and you look at, 500 emails and it becomes daunting and it's not fun. And now it's work because sitting there by the pool, mingling and talking, that's what we do, baby.
Maybe a scotch.
Yeah. Maybe a scotch or two. But those sorts of things, when you come back, James talks about it with his marathon running. there's build up, there's hype, there's drive. You get to the end of the line at the marathon and you've accomplished it. And it's like, now what?
Yeah, so true.
Right? And
Yeah.
I don't think enough people have that insight where, you know, you've got 4 people right now that are doing content creation, doing podcasting, that you have these ups and downs, ebbs and flows. And maybe Kiki, you could talk a little bit about how you keep your sister sane.
Well, we'll literally because like Maddie was saying, that is a very good point, Matt. Like it happens so often with us still to this day, because there's always that, like, are we doing enough? Are we reaching enough people? Are we producing the content that our viewers want to be seeing? Are we producing content that I want to be doing?
Right.
Like, there's always that fine balance of, like, am I interested in what we're currently doing? Do I think our viewers are interested in what we're putting out there? Do we have enough jobs on the calendar for the year? Like, should we be doing more outreach? Like, there's always those questions that entrepreneurs have. And whenever one of us feels like that, like if Maddie, for example, is on social media being like, oh, did you see the opportunity that this person got? Like, we could have got that opportunity. Why didn't they ask us? Yeah. I'll be like, you're not mentally ready to handle that right now. You need to get off.
Yeah.
And she does that vice versa to me too. You're not in the mental headspace. Shut it off. Yeah. And we'll literally say that.
That's so funny. It's so funny you say that, because just this week, so we have this great friend of mine, Michael Fisher, Finding Fish. He has this travel log. We both started basically the same day. He has skyrocketed. We have skyrocketed too. Like, we have done really, really well, but he has done better. And so I went to Pat and I went, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? And I was really upset about it, because I'm like, we started at the same time. How come we're not getting the traction he is? And his answer was,
well, he's very specific. He's going and traveling resorts and then posting about that specific resort. So if you want to go travel to that resort, you're Googling and he pops up. Where for us, we have, you know, the beautiful Maddie and Kiki that are on here today. And unless you're Googling Maddie and Kiki this afternoon, you're not going to get that traffic. So this guy has done a very unique niche, very smart way that he's done it. He's traveling the world. I think he just got back from Thailand.
Thailand.
Like, he's living the dream.
Thailand.
And James is rather upset about it, apparently. I didn't realize.
Okay, but you guys, everyone probably has heard that quote, comparison is the thief of joy.
Yes.
And it's true. It is. And
yes.
regardless of what this guy's doing or what anyone's doing, we all just need to, like, not look at what other people are doing and compare it with our journey. Because as cliche and cheesy as it sounds, everyone's journey is different.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, totally true. And go ahead.
I was just going to say, at the end of the day too, like, if you're looking at other people, you can't compare, because you're doing exactly what we do, which is going right to thinking that person is better because people like their content better, or they're doing something that's better than you. But that's not necessarily why they might have skyrocketed in more views or more monetary opportunities. You don't know if they're buying views. You don't know if they're sponsoring posts. Yep. You don't know what kind of boosting they're doing behind the content that they're producing. So you have no clue what goes on behind the scenes. So we always try to remind ourselves of that too. We're like, you don't know, maybe someone that they know got them that opportunity, or like, you have no clue.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you don't have to cut the breaks.
Okay, well, I won't. Mike, you're safe when you get back from Thailand. Fortunately, I love his wife, so I would never, ever do anything to him. But you're absolutely right. What we got today, though, was Pat was at the barber getting his hair cut, and he was recognized as one of the Soaring Prophets boys. Hey, you have that podcast. And it happens to us once in a while. Like, I've been in the Tim Hortons parking lot here in Canada, and someone's walked up and goes, I recognize you. You're from that show, right? Which is
That's
super
awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
Don't you guys think, I don't know if this has happened to you guys before, but this has happened to us a number of times. Sometimes when you are in one of those lull times, when you feel down and you're like, well, am I even doing anything? Like, is this even doing anything? For some reason, I don't know what it is, but you will get either a message from a viewer, or you'll get, get recognized in public, or you'll just see a nice comment from a viewer, and it will be like the nicest comment ever. And you'll be like, okay, I don't know why that happened at this moment, but I needed that right now, and thank you. Like, I don't know who sent it, but thank you.
It's funny you say that, Maddie, because we've had exactly those situations, and somebody will reach out and it'll be a book that they bought off one of our guests. Or it'll be, you know, last week we had a gentleman on who has a watch company, and all of a sudden you've got a receipt or somebody sending a picture when we're tagged in it, and it's the wristwatch that they just got delivered. And all these really unique, cool backstories that come from these individuals like yourself, right? Like our goal with, again, Soaring Prophets, unveiling the stories of champions.
champions.
We want to see something really cool from this interview for you guys. And that's where we garner a lot of our validation in what we're doing. Like if we can draw people to your show, to your content, to that sort of thing, it's beautiful for us. We get an opportunity to create relationships and build our brand and work with your brand. That's what we're trying to do here. So when somebody picks you out at the hair, well, I'm not even going to call them a hairdresser. Like I think it was like the back of a Chevy, I think, by the look of this. This is not great, but she didn't have much to work.
Don't mention the name.
Yeah, we'll get sued for sure. Like, I know she didn't have much to work with to start off, but, like, come on.
Yeah.
No.
No, and the other thing that we really like, I'm cutting you off. The other thing that we really like is that, you know, we talk about that very thing where you hit a wall, you're stuck, you're on your knees. We've talked about mental health. We talked about people who have experienced very tragic things where some of them wanted to end their life. And one of them talked about, I walked by a church and that's the only reason that I'm still alive. Or someone said something to me and that's the only reason I'm alive. And then we get a DM from someone and they're like, that show that was very powerful and it brought me back up and it showed me that there's still a way. And I just think that stuff is amazing. But I want to get into the meat and potatoes of what you guys do. So you guys do products. You do product testing. You do product placements and stuff like that. I was just wondering if you could tell us what are the big emerging products that are coming out right now in grilling that we should be looking for or using.
Well, I think that over the last couple of years, ever since the pandemic, barbecue has just gone crazy because everyone was at home. Everyone wanted to get into a hobby, and why not get into barbecue because it's awesome. Yeah. And so during that time, we really saw the emergence of the outdoor griddle. The griddle cooking is massive right now. So if you guys, everyone knows smash burgers, right? You guys know what smash burgers are? So they're made on a griddle. So that's why I still think the griddle is the thing that it's the new item that people want to add to their backyard repertoire of outdoor cookers. Usually people have a gasser. Maybe people have a charcoal grill, which they should. Get yourself a charcoal grill.
It's the best.
It is.
The best.
And then now it's the griddle. So griddles are hot right now. And I'd say, Key, you probably agree with this. Followed by pellet grills. Pellet grills are still having their moment.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that, but I was also going to mention Ninja products because Ninja has really upped their game with outdoor grills. Like they have a new grill. They have a new grill.
Blender people?
Like the food blender?
Yeah. Yeah.
Believe it or not.
I shouldn't do that.
Sorry. Talking again. So tell me about Ninja. What do they got going? Because I know those people as my smoothie in the morning.
Yeah.
Usually
protein shakes.
Easy, fast, clean it up, throw it in the dishwasher, away you go. What are they doing in the barbecue space?
Yeah, okay, so that's why Ninja is really dominating because it does have that exact reputation that it's the speed, the convenience, it has all the bells and whistles, the air fryers, all that stuff. So if you're familiar with the air fryer products, now they've basically taken that technology and made it into an outdoor grill, and they've added in a pellet box. So it has the capabilities of pellet smoking as well, but with that convection speed. So they're really dominating as far as getting the category of the market of people that really want that speed, convenience, ease. You don't have to learn how to barbecue. You don't have to really know how to do anything. You just have to turn it on and it makes
perfect for Pat.
Food.
What do your neighbors think? I can only imagine the two of you guys sitting around.
Oh my God.
The entire neighborhood smells like heaven. Everyone just drives by drooling, knocking on the door hey, case of beer, what are you guys doing this afternoon, right? What does that look like for you folks? Obviously you got a little bit of celebrity. You guys are doing some pretty cool stuff. But how has that changed within your local community? We talked about being, noticed and known a little bit. But how has that changed now that you're getting kind of this national and international notoriety?
Well, I think I have to be honest, I don't feel like that has changed that much. And I feel like it's because nowadays everybody thinks they're like a content creator. Everyone thinks they're a celeb. Everyone walks down the street, they're just thinking about themselves.
Right.
I feel like that's like our experience.
Cool. I like
And since we're constantly like we're always joking that we smell like food 24/7. Like we smell like smoke all the time. Like even if it's like freshly washed hair, give it a day and it's like we're just back to smelling like
I
food.
smell like steak currently right now. We cooked 3 steaks for a video today. It's still with me.
It'll stay. It'll stay with you.
Now that is some lucky men.
We have to start doing these in person, Pat.
Yeah.
We could be eating steak right now.
Yeah. Yeah, we missed.
Since we're always cooking so much food, like one of the biggest questions that we always get asked is who's eating all your food? But so we do like we make what we're going to be eating for the next few days. Like in our families, we give it away to our families, but we do give it away to our neighbors a lot. Because if it's something that, since we're always recipe testing and working with different products, there is only so much food that we can consume and our families can consume. So we will just be like Maddie lives in a newer neighborhood. And so there's always construction workers in that neighborhood, and we'll literally just be like, get everything on a big platter, and let's just go outside and give it to the construction workers.
They love it.
I believe it.
So now there's guys hanging outside your house with like a stop sign and a vest, just waiting.
Yeah, if you hang
They're
around,
going to be doing that now.
Fed. I love that. But at the end of the day, and I don't think enough people understand that. That's brand recognition and marketing.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to go home and they're going to be like,
yep.
I had a hamburger today from so-and-so, Maddie and Kiki, and they did this and that. They came over and fed it to me. Make sure you're liking, make sure you're subscribing, you know. And people, that's the thing with social media, is that it's social and those viral things. Like, as Canadians, you Americans, you wouldn't understand this because you're not nice enough. But when they had those Tim Hortons commercials where it was pass it, pay it forward, where somebody'd pay for the coffee behind you, there is not a question in my mind that Tim Hortons didn't do that themselves. But they did it because it's brilliant.
It was great.
And you folks doing that is a form of marketing in and of itself, even though it's a heart-centered thing, and I love it, and that's brilliant. These people, that spreads, that word spreads. And you get a guy with a cell phone going, hey, I'm sitting at a construction site, and Maddie and Kiki are here with a hamburger, and you get 5 trillion views on it. And now you're on every barbecue, you're on every show. Well, probably you'd have to squeeze in your current curriculum that you guys are working on to make the popularity. But that's where these virality of these posts can just naturally occur. And some do, right? Those amazing things. I love what you guys do. You guys have been guests that we've been hoping to have for a very, very long time. And again, highly, highly regarded from our friends down in Coburg there. So,
well, that's really sweet of you guys to say. We actually kind of had our own little like pay it forward thing a couple years ago where, Key, do you remember this? We called it Barbecue Acts of Kindness.
I love
that. We teamed up with a local butcher, and we would actually hit the streets. This was before like live streaming was like a massive thing. It was still fairly new. And we would hit the streets, and we would have 3 raw chickens, literally 3 raw chickens packaged up. And we would hit the streets live streaming and try and give it away to people as like a kindness kind of thing. And believe it or not, it actually sounds like it would be like, well, who wouldn't want a chicken? But it was kind of a tough sell.
I would say no. A raw chicken? No, thank you.
Ma'am, you want to give me what?
Like, are these 2 nuts? I'm like, we kind of are.
If you think about that, that is a very weird thing. Like 2 random people just approaching strangers and saying, I would like to give you a chicken.
With a camera. With a camera. Hey, we would really like to give you a chicken. Hey, watch this. Hey.
Watch them as they take the chicken from us, and hopefully they cook it. Oh, my God.
So what were you doing? After you give the chicken away, you film this whole kind of thing, and then were you hoping that they posted about it? What was the value add back? Or just free chickens for everyone in Oshawa?
Well, it actually started because the butcher wanted to give us chickens for us to be cooking and creating content. But it became too much for us. Every week they were like, we'll provide you with, I think it was 4 chickens actually, or 5. It was a lot of chickens. And they were like, we'll give you these chickens and just create content. And we were running out of ideas on how to create content with chickens. And so we were like, you know what, instead of us making them, let's just give them to people and see if that works.
Yeah.
I love that. That's cool.
Well, it's interesting. There was was it Oliver? I can't remember. There was a famous chef that had a TV show, and that's what he did. He found like a random person in a grocery store, and he talked them into letting them into their kitchen. And it was huge. It was such a beautiful thing. That's a really good idea.
That makes sense.
That was a groundbreaking show too. I forgot about that one.
Totally was.
Yeah.
Totally was. It was a must see because he was good looking, obviously, and everyone knew who he was. It would be different if James walked into a grocery store and went, "Hey, how you doing? I'm a great chef. Can I come to your house? We're gonna make fettuccine Alfredo."
But I can come to your house.
Have you seen our OnlyFans? We're Soaring Prophets. Okay, gonna take it back to seriousness now.
But we're a lot of fun.
We are a lot of fun.
You guys are a lot of fun.
I'm gonna bring it back. So I want to buy a grill. I'm looking to buy a grill soon. I am very much big time charcoal because like I don't find every time I use a gas with meat of any kind, it gets that weird flavor that I don't enjoy. So I like that charcoal flavor, and also it gives you the option of smoking a little bit.
Yeah.
So what is it that I should look for in a barbecue right now in that area when I'm going to buy one?
My first question is, how much are you looking to spend?
$1,000.
Okay, then
No?
I would say if you're looking to spend, like if you have a smaller budget, we would always say go for a kettle, like a Weber kettle is one of our favorite grills.
Oh.
We own so many different grills. Like we have one of pretty much every grill out there, I would say.
Yeah.
I would say I think, Matt, I think you would agree with that. The Weber kettle we recommend to almost everybody.
And it fits everybody's budget too. Because like James said, you can grill and you can smoke on it. You just have to know how to like configure it properly. And we like it because it is budget friendly for everybody.
Right.
But if you're looking to spend a little bit more and you want to have like a little bit more pizzazz to your deck, say, and you want to get people to like get more eyeballs on you and you're in your backyard cooking, you want to feel cool about yourself, I would say go with a big green egg. Because that's
those are
more
beautiful.
like that's like the
that
cattle.
would cost a pretty penny.
Yeah. I don't know what they cost now. Oh, I just screwed up everything. I don't know what they cost now, but at one time they were probably up there, $600-700. But the great thing is that you can like make a pizza with it. You can smoke with it. You can do everything with it. Now, is there a quality I should like? So those are all name brands. Is there a quality or quantity or something that I should look for when I'm looking at a grill? Say I don't have a name brand. What should I be looking at? Is it like the gas? Is it like how many burners? What is important?
Well, when it comes to like name brand is most of the brands, the big barbecue brands, those ones will last a lifetime. They're built like to last. They're built for a lifetime. But there are like knockoff or like lower end models of all of like the name brands. So on every type of grill, whether it's gas, charcoal, Kamado, but you just have to know like what you're trying to get into. If your budget is $20, you can literally find yourself a $20 little charcoal grill, and that can still make you can still make some delicious burgers on that thing. So we always like to tell people barbecues for everybody, no matter anyone's budget, because a lot of people think barbecue you have to spend a lot of money, but also marketplace you can find a lot of secondhand grills where people may not have even ever used them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, I love that from a branding perspective, and what you folks are doing is the fact that, this doesn't have to be a price point sensitive issue for a lot of families, right? Mm-hmm. And again, I talk a lot about finance in my show with Financial Fitness. There's a lot of people that, going, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 in the barbecue is just not a realistic expectation for them. Mm-hmm. But you folks are doing it through, you can go get the $20 one, but we're going to show you some methodologies to make sure that it is the absolute bang for your buck. Mm-hmm. You also have the opportunity to go and work with these great brands that you're dealing with as well, but you are for everybody. And like I said earlier, folks, is that you ladies were somebody that we were very excited to have a conversation with because you span this really cool genre. First of all, I like to eat. I really like barbecue.
Yeah, big fan.
Yeah, and you folks are just lovely. Like, your content is fantastic. You are just somebody that you could really sit down, have a beer with, have a steak, even if your hair smells like it a couple days later. To each their own, right? But that's the personality that you want to, first of all, watch and then do business with, right? And, you know, when we talked with Richard Parker earlier on the episode that I just shot, and he talked about females in entrepreneurship and why it's important females are in that space. When a guy goes out and buys a barbecue, the old trajectory, dad's going to go buy the barbecue. Women are a huge part of that purchase now. Well, why are we not including that demographic in our sales perspective from a brand? And you folks fit that. Now, when brands are coming to you, or when you're tagging brands when you first start, what is your pitch to them? What are you saying to them? Like, why we bring a different persona than just Johnny the barbecue genius, right? Whatever he's going to come up with, or, you know, the big Texan. What is it that you folks are doing a little bit different?
Well, that's the fact that you even said, like, the big Texan guy. Like, everyone, when they think barbecue, I think they used to have that image in mind.
Yeah.
So our thing was, we always wanted to show people that you don't barbecue. I think for years had this misconception that it had all these rules and these skills that you needed, and we wanted to break it down to show people that everyone can do it. It's not like it's like this particular thing, and even we can do it. So if people see people that look like us and people that are like us that are doing something, then they're going to see that and they're going to be like, well, what, if they can do it, I can do it. Sure. And that's what we get messages literally all the time, direct messages, people commenting on our videos saying, I got a grill because I saw it. Well, if Maddie and Kiki can do it, I can do it. And instead of taking that in a way that it's like, okay, well, I guess people are just like, well, if these two girls can do it, that was actually what we love. We love to hear them. That's actually what we were going for.
Yeah, if that Kiki can do it, anyone can. No, I think it's wonderful. And when you go to your social media, everyone check out, you can take a photo of that. It'll bring it up on your phone. You can click it on. And that's going to take you to their Instagram page. And it's beautiful. It's beautifully curated. The ingredients, the recipes, all of these things, the tactics in which they do their program. I love it. What is something you guys are working on next? What is the next big project?
Well, I wanted to talk about the next big project that I just saw. Because we live in Canada, you guys did something super special. And I think we're running out of time here, so I want to fit it in. I've been trying to fit it in for a while, but I didn't know how to segue to it. And he just did it for me. And I like cutting it off. It makes me feel good about myself. But yeah, no, so you guys just started something because we live in Canada. Like right now it's winter. Don't really want to stand outside and barbecue, although a lot of Canadians do. You shovel your way to the barbecue. You guys have done something interesting. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Are you referring to the barbecue bunker?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Okay, so like good Canadian girls, we also barbecue all year long. And we're out there in the cold. We shovel the path. We do it all. But since we broadcast all the time in the cold, all of our cameras can't stay outside when the temperatures get to a certain. They will just shut off and say too cold. So we built a barbecue bunker beneath the grill studio. So I live on a farm. That's where I am at now, at my house. And that's where the grill studio is located, in a converted drive shed, because this used to be a horse farm. And that's where we normally shoot all of our content upstairs. That's where all of our grills are. But then in the winter, we were like, we need a space that we can shoot content in, that has proper ventilation, that we can do, and we can shoot all year round. Cool. So then that's how we built the barbecue bunker. It's beneath the grill studio. And now that's where we shoot in the winter time. And it's been like an absolute blessing because we don't have to worry about any of our cameras shutting off, which has happened during a live.
Yes.
That's super cool. And all the bodies that were hid there before, it was all fine getting rid of them. That's all.
Just move them. Just move them.
We left one for fun. We left one down there for fun, and he's just propped up against the walls. We call him Charlie.
Ladies, so is that something, though, that you would recommend that we do in Canada, or is that just something out of convenience because of the camera shutting off? We've had similar problems because batteries do not like the cold winter of Canada. Is it something that you would recommend, though? Like, should we, if we have that kind of space, is it feasible? Because really, they say to us, we shouldn't barbecue inside. I don't know if you're aware of that. Like, what have you done? Go ahead.
We are aware. So all the grills that are used in the barbecue bunker, they're all indoor grills. And so I wouldn't really recommend for Canadians to do that because we want Canadians getting out there. The whole point about barbecue is that it is outside. Right. The only reason why we did this is because we produce a live cooking show every Friday, and we needed to be able to do that from a technical standpoint. But for the general public, get outside and grill.
I love it. Well, Maddie, Kiki, it was an absolute pleasure having you here today. If James will pull me up there while I'm talking, that would be a good
I'm sorry, I was distracted.
But no, you folks, Maddie, you just were talking about something there in regards to your live show. Every Thursday?
It's every Friday
Try again.
at 12 p.m.
At a 1 in 5. 1 in 5. Yeah.
Say that one more time. When is it?
It's every Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern.
And where do we watch it?
You can watch it on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, or not Twitter, it's X now.
X.
Yes.
In trouble. Elon will shut
And
us
Twitch.
Yes.
And Twitch. That's interesting. What do you like about the Twitch platform?
The Twitch platform, we like to multi-stream out to all the platforms that we possibly can. Twitch is its own interesting thing. We don't know that much about it. The main platforms that we mainly use for it are YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram.
Very cool. Well, ladies, again, I want to thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure. And like I said, you folks have been a bit of a highlight on our schedule of late. We really wanted to have a conversation with you folks because, first of all, you're Canadians doing it, right? In a country of 33, 34, well, maybe 45 million now. We have a lot of people that are coming here recently. But, 30 plus million people, it's not all that often that you can just go an hour down the road or find a neighbor that's doing something in a unique space like this. And you guys are killing it. You guys are doing such a fantastic job. Your content is fantastic. The quality of what you're doing is great. And you're just really good people. So I want to thank you folks, profiteers out there. You know what we're doing. We're always bringing really fantastic people in, again, unveiling those stories of champions. But we got some really cool things coming down the pipe, some great interviews, and like always, make sure you're liking, subscribing, and sharing it. When you send out this to your family and your friends, and you shine a little bit of light of what we're doing, Maddie and Kiki, they get a big smile on their face because obviously they're #1 supporters of the Soaring Prophets, obviously, right? That's where we are now. We're practically family. We know where the bodies are hid even. It's crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah. But no, I want to thank you all for coming, Maddie, Kiki. It's been a pleasure. And for me, let's make some money together, guys. James.
Yeah, Maddie and Kiki, I am so thrilled that you came on. You're both beautiful, intelligent women that have made your own space. You literally created a space where there wasn't one at a time when people weren't doing it. Now it's easy for us to say, oh, I'm going to be influencer because there already is a roadmap for us. There's already a route that you can take. When you guys started it, there was no route. You had to make that ground. You had to go to the local cable station and go, hey, this is our idea. You had to contact, all of the people that would, give you money to be your sponsors. There was a lot more work to it now. Now that we're influencers, they come to us kind of deal. Once you start doing it, like Rode mics. Rode mics are the best mics out there.
Come on, Rode, come on.
Right? Anyway, I love what you're doing. I love the fact that you talk about how every day there's a moment when you feel down, but you can overcome it because you're together, because you know what your mission is. If you have a solid mission, if you know, and it's something you love, and that's what Soaring Prophets is for me. It's something I love. I know the end goal is beautiful, and lots of people are going to enjoy this once we get it in front of them. But there are moments, just like you said, we just came back from a huge convention, came back, and it was great for a couple of days because everyone's talking to us about it. And then there's that lull. And it's those lull moments. It's not when everything's going great, it's easy to do great. It's those moments when you're standing alone in the darkness and there's no one around you to go, hey, you're doing amazing. Those are the moments that you have to stand up for yourself and keep on walking. Because on the other side of that darkness is some joy, is some light. Just keep on going, profiteers. We got a lot of content coming up. There is so many healthcare amplifieds coming up. There is a horseman what's his name again? Pat, help me out. My brain's not. Yes, he was big, and he had a podcast, an audio podcast. He talks about monetizing. He just sold it to a big horse company, and we're going to learn a lot about that. And we just scheduled him for another interview. So keep your eyes open. We got a lot of great content coming up. Like, share, subscribe. Check out Maddie and Kiki, because I'm telling you what they're doing will blow your mind. And also there's some tasty meat. If you want to go somewhere down there, get your little sign, stop sign I suggest, and maybe an orange vest, and you stand outside, just walk up and down. Eventually there'll be a woman who comes with a burger. I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
Just find a farm in Oshkosh. Yeah.
That's right. Profiteers out there, let's heal our minds, bodies, and souls together. Okay, Maddie and Kiki, here's your moment to shine. It's what we like to talk. What's your final thoughts? It can be about barbecues. It can be about a moment of darkness that you want to help someone overcome. Maddie, why don't you go first?
Well, I would just say really but with those lull moments, just try and turn your brain off and keep going. You just have to keep going. You know that like sometimes those lull moments will be a bad day. But you just got to keep going. And I know it sounds so simple, but that's literally all it is. And then once you start going, the snowball continues.
I love it.
And I would just say, if you feel tired, learn to take a break, but don't quit.
Mm-hmm.
Nailed
Absolutely.
it.
I think both of those ideas are fantastic. Just be Dory the fish. Just keep on swimming.
Yep.